Sorry, but A'ja Wilson is the best player in the WNBA. There is no real question about that. Like, other players that have been like ranked similarly to her as far as on MVP voting, other players that have been doing well, some of them have kind of cooled off. Like, Arika shoots 30 times a game. Maybe that's an exaggeration, but she has shot 30 times in a game. You've got Kahleah Copper, who started off with one of the best scoring starts to a season. I will tilt this a little bit. Hopefully the lighting's a bit better. One of the best scoring starts to the season we've seen in a long time. You've got Napheesa Collier, who's been really good. But last night in the matchup between Collier and A'ja Wilson, yeah, there was only one player who's a standout, and it was Wilson. Before we get on to the main part of the video, if you guys are new to the channel, subscribe. A huge thank you guys for 4,000 subscribers. Hitting that is crazy, and we are honestly not that far off 5K, which has been an unbelievable goal considering how new this channel is. Anyway, now let's get on to the video. So A'ja Wilson ended the game with 29 points, 15 rebounds, 3 assists, 4 blocks, and 2 steals. She's not only the best defensive player in the WNBA, she's probably the best offensive one. Do I think that there are like 2 of these rookies who are in that conversation for defensive player? Sure. Sure. Do I think that Angel Reese is in that conversation for the best defensive player in the WNBA, especially versatility on defense? Sure. Do I think Cameron Brink for rim protecting is in that conversation? Sure. But I think A'ja Wilson in general is just the best all-around female basketball player in the world, and it's not particularly close. I know Stewart won the MVP, but Wilson is back-to-back finals MVP, which has to count for something, I guess, because like there are people that put more weight in the finals MVP than the regular season MVP, and she came up against another MVP candidate in Napheesa Collier yesterday. And not only that, like people are saying, after the Aces lost to the Mercury with Kahleah Copper just having an unbelievable game, a lot of people were saying, oh no, like the Aces maybe aren't that good. And honestly, the Minnesota Lynx are one of the best teams in the WNBA too. And like Collier did have 18 points, 13 boards, 2 steals, a block, which is 37.5% from the field. Whereas A'ja Wilson, shooting nearly 50%, she got a bunch of offensive boards as well, and just does everything. She does everything. I will say her game's not flashy. It's not like people are going to be incredibly excited to watch A'ja Wilson play basketball, but she's just the best player in the world. And when you're looking, again, comparing her to other MVP candidates this year, statistically and team record-wise, look, she's going to be right up there statistics-wise, the best of them, maybe the best when you look at all-around statistics. And as well as that, like, their team's going to be great. Breanna Stewart has been fine this year. She's been fine. She's not been what's expected for Breanna Stewart, to be honest. Like, I know she was MVP last year. Maybe she is beginning to slow down a little bit. Like, obviously she healed well from it, but an Achilles tear does take it out of you. I know it was years and years ago, but it does start to take it out of you. And she's obviously slowed down a little bit, probably not in that MVP conversation. Obviously, Caitlin Clark is not in that MVP conversation yet. I will say, though, she's been as good as any rookie's ever been. Well, not ever been. Any rookie in the modern WNBA since, like, Breanna Stewart, because obviously it's very different when the talent level isn't nearly what it is now. Back in the day, when, like, as great as Candace Parker was, the talent level wasn't as high now. So, like, you're never going to see a rookie come in and be better than one of the top players in this league. So obviously she's not going to be MVP. Kahleah Copper, as great as Kahleah Copper's been, slowing down a little bit, and the Mercury are starting to slow down. Taurasi, obviously not. And Owumake, I don't think the Seattle Storm are going to win enough games, to be honest. Same with Jewel Lloyd, the two of those, both of them great players, but I don't think the Storm are going to win enough. And it really comes down to Collier versus A'ja Wilson. And this is a game that A'ja Wilson and the Aces dominated. But, like, the Aces are so good. They are so good as a basketball team. Like, it's not even funny how good this team is for the WNBA. And then, of course, they go and get Kate Martin. I'm going to make another video on her today. But, like, of course, like, a team that just needs glue guys goes and picks up the best glue guy in the draft. Like, It just does. Like, it's the rich getting richer. And like Chelsea Gray's not even playing. They're the best team in the WNBA without arguably their second best player. Like, it's madness. It's absolute madness. Like I know Plum's probably gone under the 20 points a game, but like there was 3 of them averaging 20. And then they have like one of the better 6 men or 6 women of the year. I do apologize if I use a phrase like glue guy and 6 man. I'm just at a habit, I will. But like the 6 woman of the year probably could well be Kate Martin, depending on how good they are and what she ends up averaging. So the aces are stacked, and A'ja Wilson is showing that she is the best. She's the best. I will say again, her game's not flashy, so without eyes being drawn to her, like as great as A'ja Wilson is, she had 53 in a game last year. She tied Liz Cambage, and like let's be real, if Liz Cambage, if it was purely based on basketball ability and skill, Liz Cambage could have been the greatest of all time. But like she's too busy taking the money in China and elbowing people in the face and racially abusing the Nigerian national team to be the GOAT. But like the problem with A'ja Wilson is her game is just, I'm going to go to the basket, I'm going to hit mid-range shots, I'm going to hit a lot, I'm just going to rebound and just be the best player. Her game, she's not going to be a clip machine, she's not going to have all these crazy highlights, she's just better than everybody else. And like there's a lot to be said for that. Like Jokic isn't really that much of a draw, even though Jokic a lot of the time you could just say is just better than everybody else at basketball, at the sport of basketball. It's not a knock on A'ja Wilson. It's purely a knock on casual fans that watch the sport purely for entertainment than watching the best teams play. And again, there's nothing wrong with that. Everyone watches a sport for a reason. There's the reason why Caitlin Clark has been such a big thing, or was such a big thing in college. And I mean, Christy Sides is doing whatever the hell she can to ruin that. Could the WNBA not have done what the NBA have been accused of doing and rigging it, getting Wemby to San Antonio? And they have just rigged it and sent her to Phoenix to play with Taurasi and Copper. Like, could they not have just went and done that? Like, I can guarantee you in that scenario, Caitlin Clark's being looked at as greatest rookie of all time. But yeah, it's actually, look, it is what it is. But yeah, A'ja Wilson balling, absolutely balling to start the season. Is looking as good as ever, and obviously more eyes on her now. She's gonna get her signature shoe, and the fact is there's more eyes in the WNBA now. While obviously there are a lot more people watching Clark than anyone else, there's still an awful lot of new WNBA fans that were brought into it from Clark, Angel Reese, that are sticking around watching other teams play. And if they are doing that, they get to watch the best player in the world, A'ja Wilson, play. So signature shoe, her name's going to be out there more, and she is without question right now anyway has cemented herself as top in the MVP voting, top MVP candidate. And like, let's be real, even without winning MVP last year, she was the best in the world, and she still is the best in the world.